let's talk about some Ayurvedic treatments and let's clear some things up with how you're using things in your hair regimen plan. I have some questions that you guys asked that I'm going to get into. Welcome to the Ask Hennasooq series. My name is Khadija. I specialize in henna, natural hair dyeing, Ayurvedic healthy hair care, and beautiful henna and jaguar body art. I focus on all those areas. And remember, you can ask your questions below, but if you have a pressing question that you need an answer to right away, one of my most favorite features that we have at hennasooq.com is our chat feature. So just go there and you can get your questions answered right away. So the first question comes from Dr. Jyoti. It says, "Hi Khadija, I'm a regular customer and I purchased shebe powder, though I don't have curly hair. Can I make an oil out of the shebe powder, immerse in Ayurvedic oil, and apply it to the scalp for hair growth?" So unless you're going to strain the shebe powder, because usually shebe is not supposed to be on the scalp at all because it's very thick, and when you're using it and mixing it, I mean, it definitely isn't something that should be going on your scalp. It's probably one of the only herbs not necessarily going to be able to touch your scalp. So you really, you could strain it and try it, but I don't know if that's gonna work very well. What I would recommend, even though you don't have curly hair, you can still use shebe. Those of you who have straight hair, you can still apply shebe and make the oil infusions or do the wrapping of your hair, and then really just it'll just lock in that moisture and promote that hair growth. So it's definitely really great. And when you're done, then you could use the Ayurvedic hair oil. Or in the meantime, as you're putting the shebe on, you can also, do some of that Ayurvedic hair oil right on your scalp and leave that as a treatment. So I hope that helps. All right, question number 2 comes from Tina Moni. She asks, "I was wondering if I can mix henna with any other Ayurvedic herb just to condition, strengthen, and thicken the hair, but not necessarily color." Yes, absolutely. Of course you can do that. You definitely can. You may get a tint of color. So if you're okay with that, that's great. And if you are really not wanting to get that color, then I probably am going to recommend that you use one of our other strengthening herbs instead if you want to avoid it. But you probably not going to get much color if you're using henna with any of these other Ayurvedic herbs to focus on those areas. So I would definitely say go for it. You're going to absolutely love it. But if the color and the tint you really want to avoid, just head to our website under strengthening. You can find a lot of other strengthening herbs and treatments that you can use in the meantime. Our last question comes from Sin's Corner saying, "I'm so confused about this stuff sometimes. I read so many different things about it and I don't know what is more accurate. From dye release, some people say overnight, others say 2 to 4 hours, and then how long to leave it in. Some say 5+ hours and others say no more than 4 hours. Or how to wash it out, and some say use nothing with water, and others say to use conditioner. I have no idea what I'm doing anymore." I get it. It can be really confusing. There are a lot of ways that people use henna and Ayurvedic, herbs. I recommend that you follow our directions for best results, especially if you're going to be using our products, because I can't speak on other methods used by other brands or people trying out their own thing. I mean, if you want to experiment, that's fine. You can definitely do that at your own discretion. But the methods that I share with you guys are the ones that are proven, that I've seen work. So that's why, when we're writing the directions on all the packages on the website, I'm literally 80% writing those all myself. I have them double checked and triple checked with the team, because I don't want to avoid typos and all those other things. Dye release, follow the instructions on the back of the package. That's going to be the most accurate because each of our henna powders actually have their own time for dye release as well. So follow the steps on the packages. We also have a tab under every single product. We have a tab called How To and a tab called Videos, or it says Watch. Sorry, I think it says Watch, but it is a video that's pertaining to that product and how to use it. So definitely click those for the most accurate instructions and steps on how to get the best results. And typically though, dye release can be anywhere from 1 to 2 hours for Moroccan henna powder, and the other ones are typically about 3 to 4 hours max. You don't need to let it sit longer than that. And overnight, you may risk losing most of the potency of the dye as well. So leave it in your hair, definitely 3 to 4 hours. You don't need to leave it in longer than that. There's just no point really. And this is when it comes to color. We're talking about color. Just I want to clarify this. This is about color, by the way. When we talk about dye release and color, some of you might be watching and be like, well, what are you talking about? Like Ayurvedic herbs or henna? It is about henna and coloring your hair. So you're going to leave that in for about 3 to 4 hours. You can cut the time in half if you have like a heat cap or a steamer. That would be great, but you don't have to leave it in longer than that. And I definitely recommend that if you have fine, delicate strands, do not leave it in longer than 4 hours. It's too much of a load for your hair. You can wash it out with just water, but that's sometimes risky because you're not restoring your hair. Like if you're going to the salon, typically you're going to get like some type of conditioning, some type of moisture put back on any treatment that you typically do. It's not that people are trying to upsell you. I mean, that's what I would hope, but like in the salon, let's say at Hennasooq, right? We're going to be doing automatically using our cleansing co-wash because it's very, very, very restorative. We want to put moisture back. We want you to leave feeling hydrated because sometimes henna can be drying. So water alone for someone who has maybe oily hair, that's cool. You know, maybe that works for them, but ideally we recommend using the cleansing co-wash, like for sure. Like it restores moisture back. So, and a nice light leave-in really, really helps you have an overall good henna experience, you know? So that's what I would recommend. I hope this helps. These are some of the basic steps that will really help. But remember, at the end of the day, and all of you, do what works best for your hair. Just monitor and write everything down and keep track of that so that way you know what your hair likes. And it's the same in the salon. When you're going to the salon, I know we all have these different hair types and, you know, textures and density. And we're talking about, you know, fine, thin, thickness, density, you know, all those type of things, you know, when it comes to someone's hair and their scalp condition. There's so many things that go into understanding and knowing your hair. The hair types, honestly, is not enough. It's not deep enough. You know, hair is deeper than hair types. So just know that that's like a beginning guide for you to kind of self-assess. But when you go to a professional, we want to know, you know, about your, you know, your density, you know, the type of hair you have. Is it straight? Is it curly? You know, what else is going on with it? Is it dry, oily, normal? All those things factor in the care that you're going to get for your hair. So I highly recommend, if you can, get a virtual consultation booking with me, or if you're in Columbia, Maryland, come see me. I would love to see your hair. I do consultations. You just have to book it in advance. It's by appointment, and I would love to help you get started in that area. If you cannot do either one, then I recommend that you take our hair quiz right on Hennasooq.com or go to the chat and ask any questions that you have. We are here to support you, so we are available. I'm giving you all these resources so that way you can have as much support and care as possible. We can see our community growing because we are growing. I just looked at the reviews the other day that so many of you left for products. By the way, thank you. Those reviews were absolutely amazing. I appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell, and yeah, and then you will not miss a beat of any of these videos and all the happenings that we have coming for you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.